Well, good day, everyone. This is CERT Instructor Ron. Hey, I want to talk to you today about training. How important is training? Well, let's just say that in a lot of cases that there's always been an emphasis on training, and that training is going to be practiced very regularly. And so the military, the police, and fire departments, they do it. But how often do you do it with CERT? So let me tell you what happens with CERT. So a lot of times people get the vest and they get the hard hat, and backpack and the other gear that goes in it. And they also get a participant's manual. And this is the instructor's manual. And so they go through this book, and once they get through it, they take it home and they put it in a closet with their helmet, their backpack, and their vest, and they never train again. I'm saying that not everybody does that, but there's a lot of people that do that. And so what happens is that when they respond to a disaster, they're simply asked, do you have the certifications? And they show them their certificate that they got for their completing the CERT program. Maybe they did do NIMS. If you don't know what NIMS is, it's the standard practices and procedures that all emergency management runs under. And so typically you do the 100, 200, 700, and 8. And fire and police are required to do it too, but a lot of people don't do that. And I've told people, when you take the course with CERT, check out NIMS, do the NIMS courses, because in a lot of places, if you don't have NIMS, they're not going to deploy you. So you have to undergo certain training to be deployed. But one of the things that I see lacking with the CERT program, in many cases, this is not all, and that is that they never reinforce the training that they got or received when they took the course. So they go home, and again, they throw that backpack in the closet, the vest, the hat, and it stays there, excuse me, until some sort of a disaster happens, and then they whip it out and go to the EOC, and deploy, and it's just not that easy. So I see that very often. And in the civilian world, they say that you train till you get it right. When you look at the military, they train until they can't get it wrong. So what does that mean? So you just train and you do it and you get it right and you go home. But what happens when things go wrong? I've seen this go wrong in training as well. I can tell you one training event we had a few years ago. We got some rain. A lot of people drove to the event. It was in the country. We were practicing things like wide area search and other activities out there. And people got stuck, and we had to pull people out. We didn't expect that, but the truck that we used to pull people out with, the battery was dead. Had that happen, people were charging their phones and whatever items. And when we got ready to leave, the truck wouldn't start. So it's a good thing that we had jumper cables. So that's practicing until you can't get it wrong. So if we'd have been practicing to get it right, we would have never got it right in the first place, because as soon as something happened that we didn't expect, now it's all wrong. And so you have to practice, practice, practice. And that's what I want to stress to you. But what do? Let's say you take that CERT course and you go home and you throw that backpack in a closet and that helmet and that vest, and you just wait. Well, what I would suggest to you is get in with emergency management or somebody somewhere and continue training. And if they don't want to do it, then get with the people that you trained with and continue to train so that you're ready. And perhaps, just maybe, you'll get deployed in some certain time when you have the right training. But just keep training. A lot of people don't do that. And it tells you, even in the CERT manual, it tells you right here in the instructor's guide. You can see it for yourself. So the issue is train, train, train. The other thing I'd like to bring up, I constantly do this, and people may get tired of me saying it, but I'm going to point at the old ham radio here, and I'm going to tell you that when all communications goes down, guess what? That's the only communications are going to be, and I would highly advise you to get your ham ticket, because if they can't contact you and deploy you or work with you, what do you have? So again, I would tell you to train, train, train. I would tell you to set up some form of communications outside of phones. And something like that is ham, maybe GRMS, but do something. The bubble pack radios aren't going to help you in a disaster. You can't talk that far. Trust me, I know. I've done it. It just doesn't happen. And that's why I got ham. And I will tell you the same thing, that a lot of people who suffer through disasters later get their ham license. So ham's the standard. So that's the two things I would tell you to do, is train and get your communication set up so when disasters happen, you can communicate with the right people. And that's all I got for you today. But train, train, train. Every chance you get a hold of your classmates or your people that you're training with and train together. Constantly do that. Get a hold of emergency management. Ask them about training, or the fire department, or the police department. But keep training. And so that way you can't get it wrong. That's all I got. So be careful, stay safe, and we'll catch you later.